Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Simple English podcast where we learn and grow together. I'm Lisa, your host, and today we're tackling a topic that so many people struggle with: the fear of speaking English in public.
Hi, Lisa. This is such an important topic. I know so many people, including myself at one point, who felt that fear. It's completely normal, but also something you can overcome with the right approach.
That's true, Leo. Whether it's giving a presentation, ordering food in a restaurant, or even talking to a stranger, speaking English in public can feel intimidating. But guess what? It doesn't have to stay that way.
Absolutely. And today we'll share practical tips, relatable examples, and even a fun fact to help you feel more confident speaking English in public.
So, if you've ever felt nervous or worried about making mistakes, stick around. By the end of this episode, you'll have the tools to face those fears head on. As always, don't forget to check out the free PDF file in the comment section below to get the full transcript and vocabulary for this episode. All right, Leo, let's start with the big question. Why do people feel so scared to speak English in public?
Great question, Lisa. The biggest reason is usually fear of making mistakes. People worry they'll say the wrong word or use the wrong grammar, and others will judge them.
That's so true. I remember when I first started learning a new language, I'd get so nervous about saying something wrong. It felt like everyone was watching me.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Most people are not judging you. In fact, they're often impressed that you're speaking a second language.
That's a great point. So, what's the first step to overcoming this fear?
The first step is to change your mindset. Instead of focusing on being perfect, focus on being understood. It's okay to make mistakes. They're part of learning.
I love that. So, instead of worrying about grammar, just try to communicate your idea. For example, if you're at a cafe and want a coffee, you can simply say, "I want coffee." It's short and clear, and people will understand.
Exactly. And over time, as you practice, your sentences will naturally improve.
What about people who feel nervous speaking in front of a group?
That's a big one. For public speaking, practice is key. Start small. Practice in front of a mirror, record yourself speaking, or even talk to a pet or a plant.
Oh, I love that idea. Talking to a pet is great because they won't judge you, but you still get to practice.
And once you feel a bit more confident, try speaking in front of a close friend or family member. They can give you feedback in a supportive way.
What about when someone has to speak in a formal setting, like a presentation?
For formal situations, prepare and rehearse. Write down what you want to say, break it into small parts, and practice those parts until they feel natural.
That's so helpful. I've found that practicing out loud helps me remember things better and feel less nervous.
Absolutely. And don't forget to use tools like notes or slides to guide you. It's perfectly okay to have a little help.
Let's talk about confidence. How can people build confidence when speaking English in public?
One great way is to start with simple conversations. For example, say hello to a cashier, ask a stranger for directions, or join a language exchange group.
That's so practical. Small conversations are less intimidating, but they help you build confidence step by step.
Exactly. And here's another tip. Celebrate your progress. Every time you speak English in public, even if it's just one sentence, that's a win.
I agree. Progress, not perfection, is what matters.
Another helpful technique is to focus on your breathing. When you feel nervous, take a deep breath before speaking. It helps calm your nerves and gives you a moment to think.
That's such a simple yet effective tip. I've noticed that when I'm nervous, I tend to rush my words. Taking a deep breath helps me slow down.
Exactly. And speaking of slowing down, it's also okay to pause while you're talking. If you need a moment to think of the right word, just pause. It's natural, and no one will think less of you.
That's so true. I think we often feel like we need to fill every second with words, but pauses can actually make your speech more impactful.
Absolutely. Another great way to overcome fear is to immerse yourself in English. Watch movies, listen to podcasts, or join online communities where you can practice.
I've found that listening to English podcasts really helps with understanding different accents and learning natural phrases.
That's a great example, Lisa. Immersion helps you get comfortable with the language, and the more familiar it feels, the less intimidating it becomes to speak.
Let's talk about how to handle mistakes. What should someone do if they make a mistake while speaking?
The best thing to do is to laugh it off or correct yourself and move on. Mistakes are a natural part of learning, and most people won't even notice them.
That's so important. I've made plenty of mistakes while speaking, and I've realized that most people don't mind. They're usually encouraging and supportive.
Exactly. And remember, your goal is communication, not perfection. As long as your message is clear, you're succeeding.
These tips are so practical, Leo. I'm sure our listeners are already feeling more confident. Before we move on to the conclusion, let's share a fun fact about language learning. Did you know that speaking a second language actually boosts your brain power?
That's right. Studies show that bilingual people have better memory, problem-solving skills, and even multitasking abilities.
So, not only are you improving your English, but you're also training your brain. It's like a workout for your mind.
And the more you practice, the stronger your brain gets. It's a win-win.
All right, let's recap what we've learned today. First, the fear of speaking English in public is normal, but you can overcome it by focusing on communication, not perfection.
Yes. Start small, practice regularly, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Remember, every conversation is progress.
And if you're preparing for a formal setting, rehearse what you want to say and use tools to guide you.
And don't forget to celebrate your progress. Each step forward builds your confidence.
Thank you so much for sharing these tips, Leo.
My pleasure, Lisa. I hope these ideas help our listeners feel more confident and ready to speak English in public.
And thank you, listeners, for tuning in to the Simple English podcast. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'd also love to hear your stories about overcoming the fear of speaking English. Drop a comment below.
Yes, share your stories. We'd love to read them. See you next time.
Bye, everyone. Okay, everyone, it's time to learn some important vocabulary related to the topic. The first word of today is confidence. It means the feeling of self-assurance arising from trust in one's abilities or qualities. Example: speaking English regularly helped her gain confidence in her language skills. Next word is mistake. It means an action or decision that is wrong or incorrect. Example: making mistakes is a natural part of learning a new language. Next word is practice. It means the act of doing something regularly to improve at it. Example: he practices speaking English every day by talking to his coworkers. Next word is communication. It means the exchange of information or ideas between people. Example: the goal of speaking English is effective communication, not perfection. The last word of today is intimidating. It means causing fear or nervousness due to being challenging or overwhelming. Example: speaking in front of a large group can feel intimidating at first, but it gets easier with practice.